Another video on pomegranate liqueur. Well, liqueur's the problem because liqueurs are sweet, and I was tasting the pomegranate liqueur the other day that I made, and it was nice. It was just a little bit too sweet, and I was kind of thinking, well, maybe if we don't make it as sweet, it'll be a bit more like an aperitif, like a digestive type of thing. I kind of think that'd be kind of a little bit more interesting. So my thoughts are I'm going to put less sugar in. I'm going to keep the recipe pretty simple, and I quite liked the fact that the pomegranate liqueur had added some, I made some pomegranate liqueur with a high concentration of alcohol in it. I used the 95% food grade alcohol in it, and I kind of topped it up as well, kind of mixed them all together, and it was kind of quite nice because it was still kind of a little bit punchy, and I like drinks with a bit of kick to them. So I kind of think, what was I kind of thinking? So I think the recipe that I'm going to, oh yeah, and I also can think pomegranate, I made some grenadine the other day, and it's really nice if you put some orange essence in as well. So I was kind of thinking we'll put some orange zest in as well. So the rest of it I'm going to kind of think, so I'm going to do also, stumbling here, I'm going to do one with sugar and one without. So that's also kind of like a bit of a control kind of experiment as well. So to kind of see what it tastes like without any sugar in whatsoever. So 500 grams of pomegranate seeds and 4 bits of zest from oranges. It's fresh zest. And then I'm going to do so a fifth of the weight of pomegranate seeds I'm going to do as sugar, and then we're going to use 300 milliliters of cheap gin and 100 milliliters of the food grade alcohol, and then we'll do another one exactly the same but without the sugar. So hopefully they'll all fit in this jar, but I kind of think it's about, hopefully it'll all fit in. If it doesn't fit in, I'll have to put it into another jar. So will this all fit in? I'll have to see. Might have to put this in another jar. So that's 100 grams, and then 300 grams worth of cheap gin. I didn't tear it off, I don't know. So it needs to go up to 400. And then 100 of this. No, will it fit in? Will it fit in? Will it fit in? Yes, it'll just fit in. Right, so this alcohol evaporates quickly, so you just need to put a lid on quickly so it doesn't evaporate, and then just mix it so it doesn't evaporate altogether. And then this one without the sugar in, so it wants, tear it off, it wants 300 milliliters of gin, cheap as you like, and then 100 milliliters of this. And then we're going to shake it up a bit until the sugar melts, and then we'll store it in a dark place for a couple of months, and we're going to see how it turns out. So the difference of the lid on, so I know the difference, even though we'll be able to tell through the smell. But there we go. So mix that together. Everything should be submerged underneath it, and we'll kind of see if it works out well. But it was just a little bit too sweet, which is fine, you know. But I like something with a bit more punch. So we'll kind of see how that works. Give it a shake up, and then we'll keep it in a store cupboard, somewhere dark and cool for 4 months, and then we'll give it a try. A bit of an afterthought to the pomegranate liqueur, aperitif, digestive. I was faffing around with fruit teas and gin. So this is a dandelion, burdock and hawthorn tea bag, and I kind of was faffing around with gin, and I kind of thought, oh, why can't we use these in gin and put them as a like a botanical instead of normal, because you can buy those botanicals in the supermarket to kind of like pep up your gin a little bit. So it kind of worked. It's an interesting kind of flavour. It's a little bit bitter, but I'm thinking that was kind of quite an interesting experiment, and kind of gave a bit of a different depth of flavour to the gin, which I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with that yet. Probably faff around with Negronis with it, but it was interesting and it worked. So, which kind of led me on to believe that we will, at some point, I'll be able to have faff around with different fruit teas and make interesting gins out of them. Kind of like instead of going out and collecting lots of rose hips, I could actually just go and buy some rose hip tea and make like a rose hip gin. Kind of maybe. Kind of might add a bit of sugar to it, and we'll kind of see. And then I was thinking, so I made the pomegranate liqueur, because this is part of that video, and I was kind of thinking I made another jar which has got pomegranates and gin and sugar and the orange zest in. So that's the one that I made, and that was the one without sugar. So with sugar, without sugar, and then this one was with sugar because I had more pomegranate seeds left. I thought, well, I'm not going to waste them. I might as well make some more of the sweetened version. So then I was swimming today, and I was kind of after I'd faffed around with that, and I kind of thought, well, why don't we add a couple of tea bags to the what we got to that pomegranate gin, pomegranate liqueur, and kind of see what happens. So we can still do the experiment's still going to go on for those two, but I've got that one spare, so we might as well stick a couple of these bags in and see what kind of happens. Now, I worked out that it was with that I did a bag for every 100 grams worth of gin. So I'm not wanting to do that. So there was about 300 grams, 400 grams worth of gin went into that. So what we'll do is we'll have 2 bags, whereas normally for that I put in 4. Yes, that makes sense. So we'll put in 2 bags, so it's half the amount. We can always, it didn't take that long for it to kind of infuse, so we can always, we need to get rid of that. We don't want those bits of cardboard infecting. Do you know, we don't want those bits of cardboard infecting gin. So string's all right, so those in there, plonky down, and they will infuse for a couple of months as long as those are going. So it's a 3 for 1 video.